It's Wednesday, April 3rd. This is an end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up with a 2-up green bar that take the high of the previous day. We held the midpoint of the previous day, and we close green, but with a little bit of a selling tail up here. And this just is another piece of the puzzle that's unfolding for the week as we kind of navigate what's developing with some key reference points and a little bit of conflict. In other words, on the weekly chart, we know we're still red with a 2-down week, and we're not reaching our target down here too easily. But we're still red on the week. And then yesterday, for example, you have a reversal bar that you expect to move higher for the day, which it did. But you can see here, I would have preferred a strong green bar close in order for us to feel comfortable that you're going to head higher and maybe take out that weekly open and turn the weekly chart back to green. So as each day goes on, we don't really know how this weekly chart's going to end. If we kind of fail in here and hold red for the week, then we would expect lower into next week, but we still have a few days, 2 days to go before we figure that out. So there's a little bit of conflict in play as we kind of watch how each day unfolds. So today, for example, we expected higher given this reversal bar from yesterday, and I discussed that on a recap video, and we got that. If we look at the 15-minute structure on the day, out of the gates, we opened up green, between the pre-market range here, between the blue lines, went up on bar 2. There's your buy signal for the day, and then we followed through higher above yesterday's high, above the pre-market high on a nice directional move, to start the session. So a very good morning trade to the upside. Then you kind of had your pause in your attempt for a secondary push to see if you can get that strong green bar, but it failed in here. And at that point, I just shot a video how I decided to try some puts in here, and it ended up, I expected this liquidity to be taken out, this little pivot right here, once I saw the failure on the 2-up, on the secondary move to the new highs unfold. And then it kind of really sliced through there. I shot a video saying I want to see if that holds or not. We got a decent rally out of that, but nevertheless, we end up with it's not quite a shooter bar to expect lower. We're still green, so as long as we hold the midpoint, and head higher tomorrow, I could see this continuing higher. But I could also see we have an actionable signal to the downside with a 2-down day, and if that happens, we have a target down here to the weekly low. That'll get more and more towards the end of the week, where this is going to stay red, which would project lower into next week type of thing. So that's kind of where we're heading as the week unfolds here with 2 days to go. So tomorrow we'll look at the pre-market range. Let's say it's somewhere in here, and we break to the down, held below the midpoint, break to the downside, and get a 2-down day. That's going to be pretty negative, and I would expect these targets to be hit. The monthly midpoint here is that green line. We've talked about that a lot from last month. This is the area where if we get below that monthly midpoint, and it doesn't hold to take out the monthly high of last month, we might be heading lower. So that's kind of a key area there. That's why I think price held there. But I was talking about how in the big picture that might just be a pause area before the monthly chart resumes lower. And the weekly chart, we try to go higher today, but this is an interesting bar to see whether, can we stay above the let's say the pre-market range is from here to here. We really want to break above that and get a new, a compound move back higher to the open of the week. And I don't know if that's going to happen. So as always, it's just going to be price action that leads the way. And today you can see the way, we expected higher, and then you kind of watch opening price action relative to the pre-market range, and it started up as expected. Then you watch the structure unfold, and we couldn't get the 2 pushes up, that you would have expected on a strong directional day, especially after this start. So that brings a little negativity into here that we're failing, and just kind of moving up into this gap, and we're going to kind of resume the 2-down week. But I'm not going to predict that until price either goes down, and it's possible after a green bar we just kind of paused a little bit with a liquidity grab, and we head higher. So a lot will depend tomorrow. It's another piece of the puzzle, like I said, as the week unfolds. And it was pretty high probability you were going to at least head higher today, and we knew we're in that conflict area of the weekly chart, still red, and the monthly chart still lower, and the quarter and everything else. We've 3 days of the new, quarter have started a little lower. So this day here really wanted to see it stronger green to feel comfortable that we're heading higher, but it's still possible. So anyway, we'll see what tomorrow brings. This is a tricky day to really know what to expect for tomorrow. So we will just have to let price action lead the way as always.